So this week I've just been pricking out some of my late seedlings and also doing some late sowings. So I thought I'd take you through the process, show you what it looked like, and yeah, just talk a bit about the varieties and things like that I'm growing at this time of year. I've got these seedlings to prick out, and you know, I was saying about I'm not being very happy with these fill basket Brussels sprouts, and just look at the difference between these various different brassicas. You know, these are calabrese, these are kale, those are little cauliflowers, but the fill basket, they're tiny little seedlings. I think they're just old. I've got 2 packets of these fill basket, but they're both the same packet, and so although I've got another batch of them from King's, they're the same dates on them. So I just think they're old seeds. So I have got some fill basket from a different supplier, and hopefully we'll give those a go and see if they grow any better, because these just don't look particularly healthy. So anyway, I'm going to get those pricked out, and then I'm just going to do some lettuce and some spinach. So I'm going to do another tray of spinach. I'm doing 2 batches of lettuce. One batch will go under grow lights and spend their whole life under grow lights in the house, although at some point I might actually just take them and put them in the mini greenhouse on the allotment. And then I'm going to do another batch which will get planted out as beds start to come free for me in December, and they're the ones we'll be eating in spring. So the ones under grow lights will be the ones we'll be eating in December and January and early February, and then the next batch, as I say, that'll just get planted out in cold frames, will be ready in March. A third succession of broad beans, and I'll just start those in module trays and plant them out, because it's getting a bit late now, although actually, I mean, the weather's so mild it's almost like September. So first up, the Orkney cauliflowers for spring. Next I'm doing these calabrese, and they look superbly healthy. These are calabrese marathon, and they were done on the 25th of October, and it's the 8th of November today, so they've done pretty well. So I just dib holes in there with my finger. Got lovely little root systems on these now, and so I just pop those in and I just push them down with my finger, so like that, trying to get them down as far as I can. And that's about right. I'll just settle those in now. I find 6 is about right at this time of year, because I just can't eat anymore. They all come together. So I like to have just multiple successions of things rather than big batches, because we can't stand frozen veg. And that's the kale. I do a bit more of that because it's faster growing and really prolific, and we're a bit short of brassicas this year. So yeah, it provides a great leaf harvest as well as florets. And that's the sprouts, and I stick with these Bedford fill basket because when I overwinter the sprouts, what I find is that if I use any other variety, they always go to seed really quickly in spring, whereas these fill basket, they just don't tend to go to seed. They're really great. Yeah, so they give a harvest all the way through spring and well into summer, and you actually get sprouts and everything in summer, as well as sprout tops, and of course loads and loads of leaves, which is the primary reason that I grow sprouts this early. So by way of comparison, I'm just going to sow some of these, and we'll see if there's much of a difference. They're only going to be a few days different in terms of growing time, and because they're going to be under grow lights for about a month, they'll soon catch up, I think, with that previous batch. It's a great example of why I mostly ignore seed packet growing advice, you know, because this is sown in March for a winter harvest. What about sowing in winter for a spring harvest? That's what I like to do. So I used to sow my lettuces direct into the modules, but now I always just do it like this and prick them out, and just seems to result in much healthier lettuces with no kind of floppy stems or anything like that. Nice selection there. 2 modules of Novara, because that's kind of the favourite of all of these. But what I'm looking for is a mix. So I've got red lettuce, crinkly green lettuce, kind of green with red blush lettuce. This flashy is kind of green with browny red flecks, and this Grenoble red is mostly green with the red blush. So, you know, really makes for a really nice selection. Lots of colour, and colour is healthy in lettuce, most things. Finally, my last batch of spinach for the year, Red Kitten. And in theory that was 100 seeds there from Grow Seed. Planted 80 of them, still got all those left. So fairly generous portions there. Just 2 seeds to a module, because they're going to be growing mainly in the spring. And then finally some aquadulce, which I just put in these 12 cell trays. Just push them in like this. I don't do too many broad beans because I have 4 successions, and this results in quite a lot of beans. We don't bother freezing them anymore. We used to freeze them. People said, oh, they freeze really, really well. We tried freezing them, and we just found that the thing that was just left in the freezer and never used were these broad beans, because really, really well for us translated into not very tasty. So, hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.